Hello everyone, this is Melissa Vasquez with MPA 585. In this presentation, I'll be discussing taxation. This assignment was actually pretty challenging to me. I wasn't understanding the full scope, but I'm going to give it my best shot and I'm going to try to learn as much as I can from you guys' presentations. But let me first start off with some key concepts. So basically, as the government will impose taxes in order to collect revenue and redistribute that revenue or those benefits. As taxes are added onto commodities, they tend to have a distortionary effect. And this is going to be pretty much across the board unless it's some kind of Pareto efficient environment. And what this means is that as a tax is imposed, it's going to affect the behavior of the individual. And they can do this by either um, consuming less of a commodity, or for instance, to get started, the income tax. What will happen is that the higher tax rate they are exposed to, they can change their behavior so that they earn less and they don't have to pay as much taxes. So as the marginal rate increases, the dead weight loss increases. So you're going to see this mainly at the top end of the tax bracket, and this is sometimes where some of these behavior things kind of depends on who it is, on what it is, or what have you. So one thing for sure though is that at the higher tax bracket, there's going to be a higher dead weight loss that the government will not either. It's not going to go to the person, it's not going to go to the individual, it's not going to go to the government. And there have been, however, some studies in which the people that are charged at the higher, not charged, but taxed at a higher bracket of the top end of the income, um, you don't really see that much of that behavioral thing where they might earn less. Yes, they're going to be worse off, but they will not really make less effort in order to earn more. But they do have that capability. They can do something like that. So because of that, the income tax is inefficient. Uh, for sales tax, it comes down pretty much to the same conclusion. So as a tax is added on on goods in general, uh, the consumer will have to pay more. That means that the consumer will buy less of that good. And what happens at the producer level? Well, at the producer level, they will add on that tax if it's a producer bearing the tax, but uh, the supply will be lessened compared to when there wasn't a tax. And for the most part, where is the burden going to be? It's actually going to be at the consumer level. The producer will either charge more for the good, or or it might charge or it might actually take effect on the labor, so it might scale back the labor. But for the most part, it's going to be the consumer or the wage earners the that will bear the burden of the tax. Is there a distortion effect? Again, yes, there is, because as a consumer, you will consume less of the good. As a producer, you will just make less of that good. Now, also, this is going to be an inefficient, I guess, Pareto inefficient tax. So property tax, that one I put in there that is probably the least inefficient. And the reason why I did that is because it kind of reminded me of what a lump sum is, which that one in our book, it states that a lump sum could be the most efficient way of taxation. Um, it will the debt loss rate will be minimal compared to all other types of taxes. And so looking back here, so to quote our book real quickly here about lump taxes, what it says that uh, a lump sum tax would be the only efficient tax. Any other tax actually introduces distortion. So with the lump sum tax, the government could raise the same amount of revenue and make each individual better off. So this pretty much concludes my presentation. If you guys have any feedback, any information, any clarifications, it would be greatly appreciated. As I mentioned earlier, I did have a very hard time with this assignment. So anything is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and you guys all have a great night.